it was a very stormy weekend for me in Birmingham. Both me and the unimpeachable Chris Williamson, the MP who in a modern-day Dreyfus affair was kicked out of the Labour Party by the Israel lobby, who then had a tight and tightening grip, no one knew just how tight it would become, on the British Labour Party. He was Jeremy Corbyn's closest ally. He was Jeremy Corbyn's most devoted follower. He was as close to Jeremy Corbyn as it was possible to be. But Jeremy Corbyn was not able, or maybe not willing, to stand up and defend him, and Williamson was thrown under the bus. A few of us have been there and so know what it feels like. But here's the situation. I am a founding member of the Stop the War coalition. I'm talking about more than 20 years ago. I was its leading speaker. Its biggest and most important speaker was the Right Honourable Tony Benn. But because of his age, he didn't quite do the number of public meetings for the Stop the War coalition that I was able to do. Sometimes I was doing 3 in a single day. I toured the country on a bus, talking to uncountable thousands of people on behalf of the Stop the War coalition. I've been a member of the ranks, once small, now vast, of the army of supporters of the Palestinian cause in Britain for more than 50 years. That's 50 years. I was elected 6 times to Parliament. I am, by all accounts, something of a public speaker. But I stood in the crowd at the rally of the Stop the War coalition and the Palestine Solidarity campaign and was not allowed to speak, and neither was Chris Williamson. There's been a wildly oscillating series of reasons issued from the organisers because, well, there's quite a bit of interest in what happened in Birmingham yesterday. More than 250,000 people have engaged with my tweet on the issue, which is not even 24 hours old. Nobody can quite understand, either abroad or here in Britain, how someone with that track record could be left in the audience and not invited to make a short address when he had asked to do so. A wildly oscillating set of reasons have been advanced. I'll give you the latest one first. In the last half hour, it turns out that the reason was that I have frequently said here on the mother of all talk shows that the Royal Navy should not be in the Straits of Taiwan, should not be in the South China Sea, should not be in the Red Sea. The Royal Navy can't even defend Britain's borders in the English Channel from Albanian people traffickers making thousands of pounds from people's misery, dangerously ferrying them across the English Channel in small boats. Of course, my attitude to that has been utterly caricatured, but just examine that latest reason for not allowing me to speak for one moment. Does that mean that you don't want the support for Palestine of anybody who doesn't agree with you on every other thing? Does that mean that you don't want the support of Conservatives for Palestine? You don't want Tory MPs to demand ceasefire now? Is that what that means? Is that the position of these two organizations? This policy of an ideological blood test applied to people who want to give support to a single issue campaign, stop the war on the children of Gaza. If you don't pass the ideological blood test, you can go away. We don't want your support. We don't want you to go on a platform and encourage other people who think like you to come on board the demand of ceasefire now in Gaza. That's what that policy means. But of course, that wasn't the only reason that was advanced. It depended on who they were talking to. If they were being lobbied by a feminist woman, then the reason was my immediate and admittedly robust support for Julian Assange when he was facing fake rape allegations in Sweden. In fact, some of the people who were on that platform in Birmingham on Saturday, I shall not name names in the interests of unity in the future, some of them were demanding, including demanding in Parliament from the front bench, that Julian Assange should be extradited to Sweden to face these fake rape allegations. I had no part in that. I instantly saw them as fake rape allegations and gave my immediate and unconditional, total, unrelenting, and now decade-long support to Julian Assange. Others are later to come to that party. If they were talking to a Muslim who was lobbying them, then the reason apparently was my support for Syria in its war against ISIS and Al-Qaeda and the alphabet soup of Islamist extremists. That was the reason why I must not be allowed on the platform. Others said I was too pro-Iran. I was too pro-China. I was too pro-Putin. In fact, one person was told that I was an agent of Vladimir Putin. All these reasons were given to all kinds of different people. Don't worry, lads, we've got a lot of them on tape. Now, quite apart from the mindless sectarianism of all that, quite apart from the utter dishonesty of all that, I'm going to rest my case on the first point that I made. The children in Gaza are dying. They're being slaughtered. We want everybody to support the demand ceasefire now. Whatever their views on the Albanian people traffickers, whatever their views on Putin or China or Iran, we want them to support only one thing: the end of the murder of Palestinian women and children. Any organization, solidarity organization, Stop the War organization, worthy of the name, would put aside all differences, personal, political, ideological, in order to save those children on the screen that you are watching right now.